This new life you're striving for is such a beautiful thing, but I want you to know that it comes at a cost. And it comes at the cost of the old version of you. So you have to ask yourself that question, am I willing to give up this old version of me? And it's really a deep, dark place in ourselves that we have to dive into and say, what am I really attached to? There's an amazing book called Existential Kink, and it really shows you all about that. It's a lot of Carl Jung psychology, but a new version of it. But I just want you to see that like you are going to actually have to shed that skin. The old you has to die, and that is the cost. Everything comes at a cost. The great things in life come at a cost. If you're an amazing mother, you might not be great at work, and vice versa. So I want you to think about this. Everything in life comes at a cost. Are you willing to pay that cost? So let's dive into what that cost looks like. And I'm just gonna use some of my examples, right? So I love to watch Netflix, and I love to watch shows like Narcos, okay? Like amazing. But that type of vibrational energy, that type of violence, it's not going to serve me in my business and in my life, at least the chosen business life that I have. Okay, I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I love gangster rap. That's probably not gonna serve my vibration and how I'm gonna show up in my business. The toxic people that I love so much, but they're just never gonna grow beyond this place that they are stagnant at, and they've been there for the last decade, they're not gonna help me move to that next level, so I have to let them go. The social media that I used to dive into and look at, like it's influencing me in a way that I don't really wanna keep looking at it, because when I do, I just go down this rabbit hole of either comparison, or it just puts me in the lower vibrational, instinctual side of myself, right? So I want you to think about your thoughts. Your thoughts are another one that we are addicted to that we're gonna have to let go of. Now I know everyone talks about the easy stuff, like, oh, don't drink, don't do drugs, don't go out super late at night and party. Like, all of those things are very important, but they're just one piece of the puzzle. I want you to think of the things that you do every day in your life that you have to let go of, that are keeping you from being the highest level vibration of yourself. Because if those things stay in your life, you will continue to be this old person. And so I cannot stress enough that this new version of you comes at this cost of this old version of you dying. And I can tell you that that's actually extremely painful. Like if anyone's ever gone through shadow work, or if they've thought about their past or their history and they had to let go of this identity, right? I want you to think about this identity that you've developed, right? Like I went through multiple phases, right? There was phases where I was like a gangster and I was in this like whole like gang scene. And then there was times in my life where I was like this jujitsu guy and I was a professional fighter. And then there was times in my life where I was a sommelier and I managed a $6 million wine program, and I put on suits every day. And each one of these places was an identity. And that identity had to be let go of for me to go to the next place. And that was not easy. And I think we all do this, right? We shed our identities when we go through school, we move on to college, we get our jobs, maybe we identify with a parent or as a parent. And I just want you to think about what you need to let go of to actually go to the next level. And I want you to be honest with yourself what that's truly gonna cost you. Because a lot of you are not honest, and you're trying to go on to that next level, but you got this anchor, on your ankle holding you back. It's like a chain. You need to break these chains that are holding you back to go to the next level. And if you don't do that, you're just not gonna be able to get there. And it comes with looking at everything that you're allowing in your environment, having deep awareness about it, and saying, hey, is this getting me to where I want to go? Or is this the old version of me? And when the old version of you dies, it is painful, like I said, but it's extremely liberating. You're like this phoenix coming out of the ashes. I can tell you, just to be blunt, I struggled with alcohol for a very long time. And when I say struggle, I'm not talking like I was this alcoholic downing bottles of vodka and like sleeping on the street. I'm saying it was such an integral part of my life that thinking of it not being there was crazy. I owned a brew pub and I brewed all the beer myself. I ran a restaurant sommelier program. Like I was the person that was always tasting the wine and drinking the wine and sharing the wine, right? So it was just part of who I was. This was like deeply ingrained, and I love spirits, I love beer, I love wine. I think they're beautiful crafts. So when I had to let that go, it was so hard, and I fought for, I would say, even a decade, hardcore, being like, this is not good for me. And one day when I finally let it all go, I just didn't have the desire anymore. That's the liberating part. When you truly let the old self die, things just go away. And I want to share with you that that is the cost. Think about the cost. Truly learn to let them go and be liberated and rise, because that's really what this is all about.